as a cybersecurity professional without a tech background. How to break into tech as a cybersecurity professional without a tech background. And I'm happy having you all here tonight. So that being said, I'll drop the agenda for tonight, then we can take it up from there. So what's our agenda for tonight? Let's do this. Right. So how to break into tech as a cybersecurity professional without a tech background. So let's go. You're welcome to tonight's session. Please share with your friends and your loved ones how to break into tech as a cybersecurity professional without a tech background. Break into tech as a cybersecurity professional without a tech background. So number one, introduction to digital consulting. Who are we? Right, then introduction to the founder, a brief profile of the founder digital consulting. So just my brief profile. The number three, why tech? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Why cybersecurity? Many of you have heard about cybersecurity, so we're looking at that tonight. Why cybersecurity? Number four, what exactly is cybersecurity? What does it entail? What exactly is cybersecurity? Number five, how to break into cybersecurity in 2026. So we are not here to just excite you, right? We are here to show you a blueprint that we have used to help our students to break into tech as cybersecurity professional. A blueprint that has worked over the years. We are not storytellers here. The number six, question and answer. Question and answer, number six. And answer, the number seven, next steps. We call it the digital way. The digital way, right? So that's it. Introduction to digital consulting. So that's the first thing we are doing. So who are we in digital consulting? Who are we in digital consulting? Right. So who are we? So let's get into it. So the first place to start from is Google. And the reason why I always have to do this is because many times people reach out to us and they ask questions like, oh, I've attended many other training programs and I don't know if digital consulting is just like one of them, right? If digital consulting is just like one of the training programs I've attended, because I've attended a training program where they just taught us rubbish. And I did, okay, so now the first thing is you can see from Gemini that Gemini gave us a review, so you can check out. Let's even check out what Gemini has to say about us, right? And you know how AI operates. AI just goes around the internet and gets every available information about you. So digital consulting is online focused, reviews highlight, experienced tutors, flexible learning, strong career support, right? Then training quality, career support, reputation, right? So then popular training programs are there, right? So that's a starting point for us. So let's say in summary, what does the review have to say? In summary, the review suggests Digital is a reputable training provider. Wow, right. So that's it for us. Now let's go to the Google reviews here. Let's go to the Google reviews here. And when we get to the Google reviews, we can get into it. We can get into it, right? So there it is. Here are Google reviews. So it has been indeed. You can check out all these reviews about digital consulting. Check out our reviews and on and on and on. We have like 164 reviews here. So these reviews are done by students who have gone through our training program. All right? So that is very important. Now let's leave Google and let's go to the real place, which is LinkedIn. Let's go to LinkedIn. That's where the action is. That's where the action takes place. So we're on LinkedIn right now. And what I'm going to be doing is I'll be going to digital consulting. This is our page, right? So because on LinkedIn, you can find what you can see our students and you can see their activities. So you can see our kind of students. So I'm just going to walk you through it. Very simple process. We'll manage the page. And so digital consulting has been around for 6 years. And in 6 years, we have trained thousands of students without a tech background, and we have helped thousands of them to transition to tech. We operate in Nigeria, in the United Kingdom, in Canada, and the United States. Tonight's class is for people in Nigeria, but if you are lucky tonight and you happen to be in United Kingdom, in Canada or United States, then it's your lucky day because we'll be giving out some very amazing bonuses tonight and a very great offer. So let's go to page post. This is our page post. So I'm an admin, and that is why I'm just showing you the back end, right? So we go to activity. Let me just go to activity, right? There's something I want to show you here. So let's go to activity, right? When I get to activity, I will talk about mentions, right? Mention. And this is why this is very important. So now Samuel Husseini, this was a week ago, he mentioned digital consulting. So let's see what he has to say. He made mention of us. So what does he have to say about us? So while I'm showing you all this is that you can see our students. You can see what they are saying, right? So this is a cybersecurity. I enrolled at digital consulting cybersecurity, started an internship, and last week I completed my first capstone project. You can see what he has to say about us, and he's describing the project he has done, right? So this is him right here. This is the student. Okay, so we'll move on. Then let's look at Yang Atsuko. Also made mention of digital consulting. So what did he say about us? Let's check it out. This is how you know a company, because many people they've attended programs that add little or no value. And if you had followed this step, you wouldn't have been disappointed. So he's talking about his journey with us. One thing you can take from our program is that it's a very practical program. You can see the student sharing his perspective on the program and what he has done. So that is that. Then next, let's go. Then this student is showing his. Okay, let's check what he has for us. It's just endless. A lot of mentions from our students. So yeah, overall click rate. What does he have to say about us? Okay, so I think he did. He's a cybersecurity student, and that is why he tagged digital consulting. I'll soon be done with this part, but you can see all these mentions. This is Moyosori Ademola mentioning us. This is Victor Oguntade talking about the successful completion of his internship with us. And this is very important. So sharing the internship completion. So today I'm excited to officially announce the completion of my 6 months internship program with digital consulting. The past 6 months have not been easy. Then he was talking about his tutors, and here's the certification. I will do 2 more, then we'll wrap it up because of our time. And when you have the time, you can take your time and go through our students, and you can see the caliber of people here. So, so here is a doctorate degree holder, right? He's one of our students. As you can see, he's a PhD. Um, he's a PhD student. So, like, mhm. Yeah, so don't let me sort out this, then we can go back. Okay. So we're good now. So there are many, but I think I will look at Anthony. Anthony, why is Anthony running away? Okay, right here. Right here. Oh, right here. Every time I try to click my name, it goes, but I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do it. So, um, Dr. Anthony, because he's a PhD holder, sharing his experience with our training program. As you can see, Anthony Uchena Emeribe, and is a molecular medicine specialist, medical lab scientist. But he came for our data engineering program and is listing what he has done with the program. So these things are very important. Like, these are the caliber of people that attend our training program, and whatever they say, you can rely on what they say, because they are people who are doing well in their own right. All right. So next thing, let's go to the last one for today. The very last one for today. Let's just do, yeah, let's do this, and it's the last for today. So, unleashing the power of AWS, my journey with EC2 instances. So you also mentioned digital consulting, right? So this is very important, and just wanted to show you that, because you need to know what digital consulting, what we really do. We offer quality, and the evidences are there on the internet. Like, the evidence are there that we are doing a very good job. So I've introduced digital consulting to you all here tonight. Share with you, we are currently a team of well over 70 staff, tutors, teaching assistants, and admin staff. So the next thing is a profile of the founder, Digital Consulting. So I'm the founder of Digital Consulting. We started 6 years ago, and we have been doing amazing stuff. I'm a pastor. I'm a tech trainer, as you know, and I'm a real estate developer. I will share a few pictures, so you get to. I pastor also of King's Church at Ojodubega, Lagos, and in case you need a church to attend, I wouldn't mind you attending our church. It would be a pleasure to have you around. Right. I have a small slide I always share on this, just to encourage a lot of you, right? Because I also transitioned to tech. I wasn't always in tech. I used to be a tax accountant. I worked for more than 6 years, almost 7 years, before I transitioned into tech. So I worked at a multinational Big Four tax and auditing firm from 2013, 2018. I worked as a senior tax accountant with the largest indigenously owned Nigerian oil exploration and production company. I was there from December 2018 to February 2020. And I used to pass a lighthouse, right? So this is me. Um, this is when I was getting married. These are very old pictures. This was at the start of the church many years ago. But I still keep these pictures. This was many years ago, right? So that's that about me. Then I have a few pictures for those, so that when you see me outside, you won't have a problem recognizing me, right? So just share this with us, and we'll take it up from there. So yeah, my pictures. So this is me right here. This is me. 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 This is me in church. This is me. This is me. This is me. It's me. Yeah, travels. This was at the real estate program. Real estate program. This was at the tech training program. I think before COVID. Tech training program around COVID time. Right. So that's that about me. Go back to my slide, and as I'm back on my slide, let's get into it. So now you know me. I'm Omiale Yomi Martins, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer, the founder of Digital Consult. Now, the next thing on the agenda is why tech, why break into tech, why cybersecurity, why tech, why break into tech, why cybersecurity. And at this point, I'll be sharing another slide to bring this home. Sharing another slide with us to bring this home. So why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Let's get into it. Let's go. Why cybersecurity? Okay. So without wasting much time, we'll get right into this. So number one is that IT opportunities are abundant, but the laborers are few. IT opportunities are abundant, but the laborers are few. That's number one. Potential for remote jobs, flexible job schedules, freelancing, and a shortcut into making CGD income. So in the field of tech, there's a lot of potential for remote jobs. There's a lot of potential for freelancing and a shortcut into making CGD income. So you can work and tonight we'll be having our career coach and our internship manager. They will be with us, and some of our students will also be with us. So you'll see how people can be in Nigeria, and this is not BS, as they love to call it, right? This is just the truth. Like, people can be in Nigeria and can work remotely. As a matter of fact, I'm still surprised that there are people who don't know that there are Nigerians who are residents in Nigeria who work remotely for organizations in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, in Europe, and in the US. It's common practice now, right? So there's potential for remote jobs, flexible job schedules, freelancing, and a shortcut into making CG's income. Now, the third thing is no IT background needed. No IT background needed. So when we are talking about tech, you don't need an IT background, right? You don't need to study computer science in school. You don't need to have done a master's degree or BSc in cybersecurity. No, all those things are not necessary. If you have it, not bad. So no IT background needed, no university degree needed. Many tech jobs don't care about your university degree. They care about your skill, the projects that you have executed, and the certifications that you have gotten, the global certifications you have gotten. So you can use tech to start your life afresh. You can use tech to start your life afresh. Now, number four, no age constraint. No age constraint. And I always like to talk about Bookie Wright. She's a Nollywood actress. She left the scene and she's back right now. And let's check this out. Don't just take my word for it. Let's check this out. We go to Google and we check her out. So Bookie Wright transitions to tech. Bookie Wright transitions to tech, and you'll see how she actually transitioned to tech. So let's get going. You can see how she transitioned to tech. So here we are. Now, transition to tech at the age of 44. She transitioned to tech at the age of 44. And 11 years after, you can just check out, 11 years after, she currently works as a senior IT auditor with a US company, right? So that is what happens in the field of tech. You can work remotely. Like, she didn't have an IT background, but today she's a senior in the industry. So if you are here tonight and you are confused, You are wondering, oh, what can I really do? I can tell you, you can do tech, right? You can do tech because tech can help you to start afresh, right? And in case you're just out of school, you just finished your NYSC, and you're just thinking of what can I do with my life, honestly, there are always opportunities in tech. Always opportunity. We've trained people that just did biology, that studied botany in school, people that studied sociology, zoology, right? People that even studied education, and today they are working with lawyers. People that were trained as lawyers now working as cybersecurity professionals. So this is how it works. So don't be so much particular about the limitations. Focus on the fact that other people have tread this path and they've succeeded in it. So can you, right? Now, LinkedIn is your friend, and I'm going to do that shortly. LinkedIn is your friend. There are lots of remote jobs that we're going to look at. So let's just get to LinkedIn and check this out. So are there really jobs? So let's check it out. Don't take my word for it. Let's get to LinkedIn and check out the jobs. LinkedIn and check out the jobs. Are there jobs? Yes, there are jobs. So, LinkedIn, we are back. This time around, we want to look at cybersecurity. Cybersecurity jobs. Cybersecurity jobs. So, there we go. Let's start from Nigeria. Let's start from Nigeria. Cybersecurity jobs, Nigeria. Let's start from Nigeria. Then we can move on from there. Let's start from Nigeria. So here we are. Cybersecurity. So this is United Kingdom. There are lots of jobs here. If I do the dates posted, I can say the past week, because many of those jobs will still be fresh. I can say the past week, many of them will still be fresh jobs, right? So now one thing I also want to tell many of you watching me tonight is that when you check these jobs, some of those jobs you'll be seeing 3 years experience, 3 to 5 years experience. So listen, that is why it's always good to attend a boot camp. Yes, they are telling you 3 to 5 years of experience, but when you attend a boot camp and you develop projects, it is equivalent to the 3 to 5 years experience that they are talking about. So when they say 3 to 5 years experience, don't look at it from the angle of, oh, they want someone who has been working in cybersecurity for 3 to 5 years. No. What the HR, the technical recruiters, the reason why they put 3 to 5 years experience is that they want the skill set of someone who has worked in cybersecurity for 3 to 5 years. And that is what you gain when you attend a boot camp. When you attend a boot camp, you are able to gain that level of competency because you build projects. And in our own boot camp, right, aside from the 5 months online training, there is an internship which is free. You don't pay for the internship. There's an internship that is free that grounds you. So we have built a system that allows you to break into tech without a tech background. That is the way our system has been built. So this is for United Kingdom. Why did I choose United Kingdom is because their time works well with our time. But let's also look at Nigeria, right? Let's look at Nigeria. And so there are jobs. Money Point is hiring, IT auditor, cybersecurity technology is hiring, cybersecurity analyst. You can see that. So we have a lot of our students actually in technology, a whole lot of them. So there are jobs, and these jobs all the time, the jobs are here. And not just on LinkedIn, there are jobs on Indeed, there are jobs on Glassdoor, but I don't have so much time to show you all that tonight. So it's very important that you understand that this is a field that you can build your career from the scratch, right? It's a field that you can build your career right from the scratch. You can start afresh. You can start all over again. You can transition. So if you are in a place of work and you can't see a future for you, I can tell you that there's a future in tech. Whether you are young, whether you have been in that career field, there is a future for tech. Now, there's a beautiful thing about cybersecurity. Why I love cybersecurity, because there are like 3 or 4 opportunities. Number one, you can work in Nigeria for Nigerian companies. You can work in Nigeria for Nigerian companies. Number two, you can relocate via the visa route. Countries like United Kingdom, Estonia, Latvia, Germany, Ireland, Australia, those countries are very heavy on tech visas. Poland too, very heavy on tech visas, because they have a lot of openings for tech jobs. And if they feel that, oh, this person can do the job, Malta too, all these European countries. Now, I don't even want to go into that, because one thing about relocation, because I have a good number of our students who relocated, is that the most important thing is getting into Europe. When you get into Europe and you get your first job in an European country, it's much easier for you to move from there to other countries. To next thing, you're in Canada, you're in the UK. So there's a way it works. So when you hear Poland, Latvia, Malta, Estonia, don't say, oh, how many people do I know there? No. The most important thing is that you're not going there to go and work in factories or work in restaurants. You are going there to work as a tech professional. There are lots of opportunities. The world is not just about UK, Canada, US, right? The world is beyond that. There are many other countries that will give you great opportunities, and you can move from those countries to UK, to Canada, US on a higher level, because now you are moving in as an experienced professional. But that's a story for another day, right? So I just needed to chip that in. So why tech? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Now, so I said you can work for a Nigerian company. Banks are recruiting, fintechs are recruiting massively. A lot of multinationals are recruiting. Companies in the financial sector, governmental organizations recruiting massively for cybersecurity professionals. The recruitment is massive. Now, you can relocate. Number 3, you can work remotely. There are roles in cybersecurity that can be done remotely, that they don't even need you to be in their country, and you get the job done. And they will pay you in pounds, in dollars, in Dutch mark, as the case might be. Right? Number 4, you can work as a consultant. There are many small and medium-scale businesses, both in Nigeria and globally, that don't have the funds. They don't have the funds to recruit, to outsource their cybersecurity to a cybersecurity consulting firm. So if you are very sound and you are very grounded, you can do the work for them. You can do pen testing for them. You can help them to install security systems. You can help with their audits. You can help with their compliance, right? So, and it's not just limited to Nigeria. I've met people who they work for foreign organizations as an auditor, as a cybersecurity auditor. So the cybersecurity world is big. You just have to get into it, right? Like if you are looking for an opportunity, if you are looking for a career that you can build on, cybersecurity is it for you. All right. So that being said, before I bring on Nelson, the question right now is, so having said all this, what exactly is cybersecurity? I've told you why cybersecurity has a lot of roles. There are many job roles in cybersecurity, a lot of them. So what exactly is this cybersecurity thing? And at this point, I will share, there's a picture I love to always use because they encapsulate it. Now, quite a lot of people, when they hear cybersecurity, what comes to mind is hacking. Yes, ethical hacking, penetration testing is a part of cybersecurity, but it is not the only thing in cybersecurity. As a matter of fact, it is a small section of cybersecurity, right? So this is cybersecurity for you. This is cybersecurity. These are the parts in cybersecurity. And don't get overwhelmed. So here's what we do in digital. A lot of people might be talking cybersecurity, but we have been doing this for many years with a lot of success stories, some of which I've shared on the group, some of which I will still share with you. So here's how it works. Now, when it comes to cybersecurity, when you come into our program, you learn the foundations. The foundations are very important. And now don't write yourself off. Someone will say, oh, sir, I don't know networking. I need to learn coding. No, forget all that. You know what you need? You need to be ready to learn. That's what is needed. You need to be ready to learn. If you are ready to learn, the rest is easy. The rest is not a problem at all. The rest is inconsequential. Are you ready to learn? That is the most important thing. Are you ready to learn? Right. So when you come in program, you go through the foundation program. Now, towards the end of your 5 months training program, you begin to specialize. So what we do is that we give you the foundations, because some of these things you can get a job in this area or get a job in another area. Then when you are doing your internship, then you major. So see the internship as like your master's program, and the 5 months program as the BSc program. So in the internship, you major on your field. So don't be overwhelmed, right? You learn the foundations, then you can major. Application security, from the word application security, these are people that check applications to be sure that the application is secured and hackers can't hack into the applications. Now we have the cybersecurity architecture. They work for large enterprise. They design the cybersecurity architecture of those organizations to ensure that there are no loopholes anywhere. We have the cybersecurity auditor. Why are they called security auditor? Because they audit systems, softwares, computers, processes, people, policies, to ensure that the organization is well covered. Then we have cloud. Cloud is a big thing right now. A lot of things are going on the cloud. Many applications are on the cloud, but security in the cloud is very important. So cloud security is vital. But you don't just get into cybersecurity and say, oh, I want to be a cloud security engineer. No, you have to pass through the foundations. And in our program, you go through the foundations, then you major. You major. Haven't gone through the foundations. You major towards the end of your program, right? Because that's the problem. A lot of people, oh, I just want to be an hacker, but you don't know the foundations. You don't know the foundations of cybersecurity. You don't know the cloud environment. You don't know basics of networking. You don't know all these things. You just want to be a pen tester. That is why a lot of people finish such programs and they are half-baked. They are not well grounded, right? There's compliance, there's education. That is what I'm doing tonight. But education is a big deal and is one of the low-hanging fruits for a lot of our students, because you can get a lot of cybersecurity awareness training jobs. Because statutorily, every organization should train its employees on cybersecurity threats once in 6 months, right? So, and you can easily get those kind of jobs, either locally or globally. You see, one thing that will stand you out in the field of cybersecurity is not your university degree. It's not even your certifications. Your certifications are good. We give a lot of certifications to our students, but one thing that will stand you out is your knowledge. The fact that you are knowledgeable and you are grounded, that will stand you out. You will get local jobs, you will get global jobs. And that is why for us in digital, our emphasis is you being grounded. So when people are saying there are no tech jobs, tech is a big lie. Tech is not saturated. Tech is not saturated. I share jobs with our students almost every day. Almost every day, right? Jobs keep coming. Jobs keep coming. Jobs keep coming. So when people are saying there are no jobs, it's a big lie. The real problem is that there are not enough competent people to undo these jobs. That's where the problem is. Not the job. The jobs are there, but do we have competent people? I don't think so. Do we have enough competent people? So when you are competent, you always get the jobs. And another thing is that in the field of cybersecurity, at times you don't even need a job. You can work as a consultant. You can work as a consultant. You can set up a cybersecurity consulting firm. And it's not limited to Nigeria. You can get jobs for Ghanaian companies, Kenyan companies, South African companies, UK companies, Canadian companies. So the world is your limit. All you just have to do is get 1 or 2 or 3 certifications under your belt. And next thing, you are doing consulting. Right? Now engineering, cybersecurity engineering, the generalist, Governance, that's a governance, risk and compliance, a very powerful area in cybersecurity, right? A very powerful area. Now let's keep moving. Right. So when you hear things like um, forensics, this is where forensics is. So these are people that they do a lot of investigation. So a cyber crime has been committed, fraud has been committed. You bring in forensics. So these are their names: crime analyst, cyber crime investigator, cyber security researcher, incident and intrusion analyst, malware analyst, senior malware analyst. So they investigate, just see them as forensics. Now we have networking. These guys secure the network, right? And when you go through our foundational program, you're still going to learn about basics of networking. You will not become a network engineer, because network engineer is different from a cybersecurity engineer. But you will understand networking to the point at which you can secure the network. The network engineer is trying to ensure that the network is running. All the parts are together. The cybersecurity engineer is trying to ensure that the network is secured, right? So there's that side. Then we now have pen testing. As you can see, with all that I've said so far, that this pen testing, which is also known as ethical hacker, vulnerability assessment, vulnerability tester, they are the same name. Ethical hacking, pen testing, vulnerability tester is a part of cybersecurity. So these are people who are paid by organizations to try to hack into their systems so that the organization can detect weaknesses in their system before the hacker discovers it, right? And it's part of our program. It's a very wonderful part of the program, right? Then we have operations, SOC analyst, security operations center. So these guys are like monitoring. They are like, just see them as a patrol. They are moving around, just checking things, ensuring that things are going on properly, right? Then we have privacy. In Nigeria, data protection is becoming a big deal, right? So there are lots of jobs in that area. Data protection, privacy analyst, it's a job description. Lots of job on this one. Lots of jobs on data, and it's a part of cybersecurity. We take it under our non-technical side of cybersecurity. For instance, let me go to LinkedIn and show you jobs under data protection. You'll be wowed. You'll be wowed at the number. So the sky is not even the limit. The sky is not even the limit, because there are just so many jobs. So let's do this. Data protection. A whole lot of jobs. Lots of jobs here under data protection. The jobs are many. Right now, this is even Nigeria. Like I said, with this Nigerian data protection stuff, a lot is happening in that space, right? So you can see for Nigeria alone, anything data, lots of jobs are here. But let's leave Nigeria and let's go to United Kingdom. Because one thing is that data protection jobs, they are jobs that you can do from outside of your country. So for cybersecurity, there are some jobs in cybersecurity that you have to be in that country to do the job. But there are other jobs that they don't need you to be in the country. You can be in Nigeria and you are working for an organization outside of Nigeria, and they are fine with that, right? So there are lots of jobs in this space, whole lots of jobs, right? So that's that for that. Let me go back to my picture, and very soon I'll be bringing on Nelson today. So there's cybersecurity sales. So it takes, for instance, if you've worked for a beer company as a salesman and you are number one in the region, right? You've won a lot of awards. It doesn't mean you can sell cybersecurity solutions, because in cybersecurity, companies who have cybersecurity solutions, they are not looking for salesmen. They are looking for pre-sales engineers. They are looking for people who understand cybersecurity, who can do a lot of demo, who understand the language of cybersecurity, who understand the terminologies, who understand the environment, right? They can sell better because here you're not selling beer, you're not selling beer here, you're not selling alcohol here, you're selling technical solutions. So a technical person is required to sell technical solutions because you'll be having meetings with CTOs, chief technical officers, chief information security officers, CISOs of organizations. So we're not selling beer here, right? So you have to be a technical person like them. Then we have the threat. So see these guys as the CIA of cybersecurity. Threat. See them as the CIA of cyber. So if Bank A has a problem, you don't wait for the problem to happen to Bank B before Bank B gets itself prepared. So they call them threat hunters, threat intelligence, threat hunters, right? So that is cybersecurity, and that's what makes it beautiful because there are lots of job roles here, lots of job roles, lots of opportunities if you have this skill, and that is where we come in. So that being said, at this point, I'll be bringing on Nelson, who is our internship manager, and they will be coming here to talk to us about how our internship program runs, how our program runs itself, and his journey to cybersecurity. Right, he's highly experienced cybersecurity professional. He has been in the industry, I think, 11 going to 12 years right now, and he works with, I would say, in my own view, the number one fintech out of Africa, right? And is on their team, right? So this is someone who interviews people for cybersecurity roles. This is someone who employs a lot of people on his team and is our internship manager. So, Nelson, good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing too, Sayomi?
Doing good, though. You're welcome. How's the week?
Yeah, not bad. A bit
Okay.
stressful.
Okay.
Well done,
So,
sir.
yeah, over to you. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? I want to be sure you can hear me, Mr. Yomi. Can you guys
Yeah, we
hear?
can hear you loud and
Nice,
clear. Yeah.
nice. Okay, so I think that you are spot on so far, Mr. Yomi. So I'll just go straight to the point. What some of the things that you mentioned earlier about um, jobs opportunity in Nigeria. Are there actually jobs opportunity and um, or do we have shortage? I would even want to share some facts findings from the recent report done by SAN evaluating the global market in cybersecurity. And it's as if you've read that article, came out just last week. And they did a survey, the same thing you said. Um, Now we have more skills shortage compared to headcount. Back in the days, the concern is usually if um, if we don't have enough we don't have enough professionals that can get into cyberspace. But now the challenge is even people within the cyberspace are not skilled enough to handle the numbers of threats coming. So how does this impact us in this internship program? Before I continue, my name is Nelson. I handle the cybersecurity internship program here at Digital. Have This is going to over 10 years experience. I did a transitioning from telecom, IT support to cybersecurity. And I'm so glad to have everyone here. I'm so sure that wherever you are, whether legal or anything, you can always come in. There's space for you. Sayomi had gone through the different career paths in cybersecurity. And the good thing about cybersecurity is that you can actually move from one career path to another. That's something that would take a lot of effort to do in the medical line or in other field. So you can be a security engineer at the start of your career and grow into becoming a consultant, later part of your career or an IT GRC person, right? Currently, where I work, the IT GRC manager was a cybersecurity writer. when he started his career, but now he's leading the whole organizational entity in the GRC space. There are a lot of people that start their career. I've seen people from legal. Fact, there are mentees that I've seen from that did their BSc with what's it called? From art courses, you know. So the field is not for IT professionals alone. And what Mr. Yomi said was very profound. If you're coming from the sales industry, you can come in and do sales in cybersecurity. You can come into consult. In fact, those are the most well-paid professionals today that we have in the space. With sales engineers, because you're doing both technical and non-technical. But I want to share some findings and why our internship program is very strategic, to what we are doing today and what we are doing so far, the outcome. I think we have one or two students that would get to talk about, the outcome of the program. So let me share my screen quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think, yeah, let
Wow.
me know if,
Yeah, you can share now.
all right, sir. Uh, let me know if it's coming up.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is all right. So this is the Digital Internship Program course runs for 6 months, just after your 5 months training program. We cover at least over 20, more than 20 projects across different 10 domains in cybersecurity, so that you are fully grounded across board and it is 100% virtual. Now, why this program? We are looking at education, experience, and employment. I would also share with you some of the facts we've gathered, from the recent reports, why we are putting these together. One of the key facts, so this is a report that was recently released from SANS, and it shows a survey of one of the top hiring challenges that organization has. You could see that 42% shows that we have unqualified candidates at the part. I don't know if you guys can say there are
Yeah, we
different
can see it.
reasons why. So 42%. In fact, Mr. Yomi was talking about a job role where I work before I joined now. Money Point. That role has been out for 4 months. In fact, yesterday, when we finished an interview for a candidate, one of the interviewer asked me, "Are we doing something wrong? Is there something with our approach?" I said, "No." I said it, I think there's a lot of skill shortage that is happening in the world, especially in this part of Africa. We are driven by certification so much that we don't understand concepts. And
Mm.
it's telling. Now, what is our approach to interviewing? Scenario based. We give you a case study, walk us through. Anybody can lie on their CV. People have
Yeah.
AI generated CV. Come
Yes,
and
so
prove it to us. Tell us what it is. And the shocking truth is that this is an experience role. I'm not talking about entry level. This is an experience role, but it is hard. I am tired. I'm telling you right now, I'm tired doing interviews. I have interviewed more than 25 people.
mm,
So it is shocking that a lot of us just try to get certifications, go into the job market. Some of us get it. I'm just trying to tell what is happening.
mm,
But for those transitioning now, everyone on the call, don't just see digital as a means to get a certification. Be
mm,
skilled, and you can get that here if you want to. And that's why the structure, thanks to Mr. Yomi and the team for giving us that privilege to have like an internship. Then we have also a section that runs, that teaches you
mm,
mentorship in terms of how to do presentation, how to revamp your CV, what to look out for. So you don't get opportunity and you don't get it. So
mm,
when we do scenarios interviews, you can just see it that people don't even know. You're asking one question and they're saying something else.
mm,
So what exactly is employers looking for? Skilled professionals. And what is our approach here at Digital to achieving that? But let me show you some other metrics. How organization validate your skills. Number one is that they use certification, which is why you are called for interview. But the second level is skilled assessment, scenario based. You can either be, in fact, they don't give you project to go and do and come back because you can use AI and get it done in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
You are going to
Exactly.
do it on the call. Mr. Yomi, I remembered interviewing someone and she was using Paraclet AI. She would
Mm.
she would pause for 5 minutes and respond. You could just tell that the person is using a Paraclet AI tool, an AI tool that would help you respond to interviews. And you will know that you are not speaking from, I don't know if you get my point. Now, when I
Yes,
now
of
ask for
course.
that question, the person
Yeah.
is blank.
Mm.
So, and these are experienced professionals.
Mm.
I saw someone with CISSP. That's the highest certification in
Yeah.
cybersecurity, yet cannot define technical terms, cannot solve a problem. And what are the questions? They are very simple. Now organizations are beginning to adopt AI. Walk me through approach, security approach to help organization cover these gaps. These are the questions. These are the things we do at the internship. Clear description to solve problem.
Mm.
All right. So
Yeah.
this is the last highlight from that report. I can share, I will show you where you can see the report. It's an
Yeah.
extensive report. You guys can go and read, but I want to show this other part. Top priorities when evaluating candidates. Based on this report was gathered from 6 regions, US, African, and some other regions. Number one here is technical capability. So in fact, your technical capability comes above your work experience, then your attitude before aptitude, then degrees. Mr. Yomi also confirmed it. It's not just about your academic, BSc or not. Do you have the capability to solve problems? SMEs are crying today. People are losing, people are being hacked. I can't tell you how many I face at work every now and then. Can you
Mm.
solve organizational problem? AI is bringing new threats, data
Yes.
exfiltration, prompt injection, and so many attacks. Can you
Yes.
solve? These are discussion at managerial level. As a
Mm.
consultant, can you solve this problem? That is it. If you can't solve the problem, you can't get a job. So what's our pillar? We are looking at home labs, practical skill, real life projects. This helps to build that professional confidence because you are going to be coming to defend your project. We don't just get your project. Come and tell us about how you did it. Because and I have like in the current cohorts that we have for interns, when they started,
Yeah.
you could see that reports. Let me quickly use this opportunity to do that because of
Yeah.
time. So we have here at Agita, we have um, a a roadmap. This is like
Mm.
our curriculum. The curriculum covers, like I said, across 10 domains from technical to non-technical aspect, looking at even architectures, and how to move from asset management, manage this asset, database. So we want to cover as much to application, even source code, right? Now, part of what we are looking at is even revamp our curriculum to adopt AI strategies because
Yeah.
that's where the world is going. We have some projects that would also involve AIs that we want to add to our project. Now, on a week by week basis, we get to meet, go through each of those projects. Students are going to be given this project. They get to submit their projects. We do
Mm.
reviews. Then you can see an example of a student project. There's a
Yeah.
student project on asset inventory system. If an
Mm.
organization have 10,000 assets, 5,000, like the banks, there should be a way to manage this asset, right? Even for an SME with 100 laptops, you need to have visibility. That's what this project is all about. And in our project, we always compare different solutions so that you can do with maybe like two or three solutions. Then come
Mm.
and advise the business based on the limitations or the strengths of each tools. So you see a walkthrough, yeah, that shows how this project was done, the lab setup, You can see this is the first solution, a high level overview of the solution, how to set it up, you know, the lab environment, what are the, details, the IPs. Then this is the second solution that was used, how it is set up, the steps, then you can see snapshots of the solution that looks presentable, and you can see how you can compare between these tools because that's your job. Your job is to be able to assess and advise the business what to do. So these are key insights. We are looking at it from the place of how you should work in a real life scenario, not just someone that install and deploy a tool, but which of these meets the business need or which of these fall within the business budget and advice. So, right, this is also an example. You can see this project, like I said, is an inventory management system. A lot of people
Yeah.
just go into hacking. No, visibility is where security starts from, identifying what to protect. And that's why our project follows that scenario, right? This is another project for a solution. This has to do with vulnerability management, using different tools. You can see there's always an executive summary, and
This
this,
was done by an internship student. For those who are
yeah,
listening to us, yeah, it's
yeah.
internship student that did this project. This is part of the projects they did, not the only one, right? Over to you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, yes. This is done by internship student. And like I said, our model is to look at solutions that organizations use today and try to leverage their community editions so that these are tools that you deploy in your environment, see how they work. And the beautiful thing is that because you deploy it, you're also qualified as working as a security engineer. You deploy and implement them, you troubleshoot issues, you are using these tools to solve problems, So you are working across all the different domains in cybersecurity while doing these projects. Then you can see the snapshot showing us how the solution is set up from start to finish. Then the values, you can see where asset is being added to scan. And trust me, these are solutions used today in organization to do vulnerability assessment, asset inventory, patch management, and the likes. So we want to replicate as it is in the real world. And you have to come and defend it to us. You see, we give also constructive feedback. If you don't pass, you see, we'll tell you, you will give you those feedback. Those that needs other review needs to go back and do it. So we have this week in, week out, right? This is also another project. This is a recent project we are working on, looking at two solutions, Nexus and Qualys. And these are top solutions used today in the industry when it comes to vulnerability management. So these are projects that are done. And again, we also try to assess real life environment. These applications are online today because that's what you'll be doing. When you have this application, you'll be scanning companies' websites, the application hosted so that attackers don't get to exploit it. That's what we are doing. So they are not just virtualized environments like you see on TryAcme. These are things that you have to set up yourself. Configure it. Just a minute. You can see this is where the configuration is done, right? This is where the scans are being launched. Assess all the applications because they are live. These are how you identify the vulnerabilities because you are going to advise business. We have seen critical vulnerabilities on this app. We need to fix it before it is being exploited because of other different types of threat. So, because if we keep going and on, you just see that a lot of organizations have application, either mobile, web, network, and they are never scanned. But this is what we are teaching our students, how to identify vulnerabilities across network, what the solutions is, what the description, how to advise business. So when you do the presentation, we come up with questions. I ask questions across other issues related to that particular project. So you can see the walkthrough for the second app, right?
Yeah.
So this is the walkthrough showing you how we use two different solutions because as Mr. Eme was talking about a cybersecurity consultant the other time that you are supposed to do consult and provide solutions to different clients. So when you're doing that, you need to know different solutions. So when a client say, "Oh, I don't have budget for this," you can still
Hmm.
recommend other solutions, right? And tell
Yeah.
them how to solve the problem. So, and that is it.
Yeah. So
That's why
before you leave
we
this place,
go
I
on.
also want to chip it in that does
Mm.
using these things, doing all this work, does it involve coding, Python, programming, Java?
At
For
all.
those who think it does.
Funny enough, at all,
Yeah.
it doesn't. In fact, with AI, I was exploring just this past week, Mr. Yami.
Yes.
We have a couple of, I don't know if I have it here listed. There are a couple of, I want to just show you something. So
Mm.
there's a project that we are trying to explore. You can see for threat intelligence now, you see all these tools. You
Yes.
see all these tools. Now look at these tools. Now think about for a candidate like myself or someone, a professional, you can't remember everything at once. Do you know
Mm.
that we can use vibe coding, AI,
Mm.
to
Yeah.
create a quick application that would centralize all these apps? And that's what we are doing. In fact, without any knowledge of AI coding.
Mm.
So what am I saying? A lot of our projects don't require coding. In fact, with
Yeah.
AI, you can even use vibe coding to develop, come up with an idea and do it.
Mm.
So I used vibe coding to create an application that centralized all these tools in one. It's
Mm.
just to host it somewhere
Mm.
without, and this was done in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yes, that's where AI is going. I don't know if you get me. So if you are
Understand? I
concerned
understand it.
about AI and you're on the
Yeah.
call, to be honest, there was a report in one of the schools in the US. They had, for the first time, they had a very low turnout for people coming to study computer science. Everyone is doing AI.
Mm.
I was telling the students earlier today when we were having the call, in the place where I work, when we do monthly reports and we see thousands of threats that we investigated, sometimes the mean time to close these threats on an
Yeah.
average goes maybe 10 hours, 15
Wow.
hours. And we say, okay, we need to work hard to reduce that time. Trust me, at the moment now, you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So average why? Because the first level support is done by AI. We have
Mm.
tools that detect and close if it is not a major threat.
Yeah.
So you have to come correct. If you are doing this program, like I said, don't use don't use Agital to say, oh, I've done boot camp, I have certification from Agital. Know the stuff because the market out there is really not smiling. And if you're not good, you're not going to get jobs. It's getting to that direction where
Mm.
scenario-based interviews, you have to show that you know it. If you
Yeah.
don't know it, you have to drop off. So our and the digital program, internship
Yeah.
program, in line with the career coaching done by Shegun,
Yeah.
then
Good. Yeah.
also all of our
So
tutors.
you might
Yes,
want to show us the slide again so that we can go back to the internship and
yeah.
see what. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. So then these
Exactly.
are okay, good, good. So, like I mentioned, these are some of the things that we look out for you to be able to achieve all this. Then the requirements for you
Mm.
to do the program, you need to invest in having a laptop because you
Mm.
need it. You need a laptop. You need to also go through for the internship program. During the 5 months, you at least should have done the certified in cybersecurity certification, right?
Yes.
Any of this certification will show to us that you are serious enough to do
Yeah.
the internship, right? Then
Yeah.
now this is on a glance, I've just talked
Mm.
about it. Secure, we start for the 6 months, we start looking at security foundation by looking at enterprise architecture. Then we move into threat detection and response, advanced security domains, then GRC. Now, these are in detail some of the domains that I just showed you guys on the Excel sheets that we cover. From enterprise architecture, you need to understand the design, to asset management, to vulnerability management, to patch management. You see, then we go into threat detection, SIEM, incident response. So that's where we do SOC investigation, SIEM, threat hunting, EDRs. These are tools that organizations use today. right? Then we move into advanced security domain like WAF. Then mobile application security. A lot of business today have mobile apps. Have you ever thought that there's a necessity for you to scan this application to check for bug, whether it's an iOS or an Android app? We're going to teach or have sessions like that. So cyber threat intelligence, then data loss prevention that protects against data exfiltration. Now that we are using AI, people use AI to scan sensitive documents. How would you detect this? These are use cases today that organizations are facing. So we are considering doing this. Then GRC. So in one of the, I want to say this, one of the key
Yeah.
highlights from the SAN report, I don't know if I um because of time, maybe I might not go into that slide. They
Yeah.
stated that regulatory compliance is beginning to affect how hires, like organization get to hire. And what does that mean? Aside from your technical know-how, there's also a need for you to know what standards are. If you're in the US, for example, in the UK, you have the cyber essentials. You can't do well technically if you don't know what the baselines are, the standards are. PCI DSS, ISO, in even CBN has its own standard here in Nigeria. So there's a need in the United States. You have the CS control, the SOC 2, and the rest of them. NIST framework. You need to know from NIST risk management framework, what does it say? Right? You need to understand the technical controls, right, from this requirement, so that when you're advising business, you're not saying from the place of subjectivity, but you're saying from the place of standard and best practice, right? So you can see we have projects. Now, one of the things that we also do, we leverage virtual environments like the Let's Defend, so that we are able to also do hands-on and virtual platform. Have that what's it called, experience. Then you see that at the end of the program, you have project portfolios, you have security writings and presentation. Very, very important. So these are some of the technology stacks that we are going to be reviewing, from SIEM to vulnerability to EDR. Some of them we create access to the platform, leverage the open source platform. For some others, right, we're going to do like a walkthrough review that doesn't give us they don't have like community edition version of those solutions. Then we have threat intel, mobile application security, forensic, then also GRC tools. So the platform that we are going to leverage, I mean the virtual environment, the
Yeah.
cyber defense, the less defend platform, right, that we also use. Then for the Cisco provides you that what's it called? That's basic. They have like a training program for people coming into
Yeah.
cybersecurity, basic knowledge on networking and all. So what you gain from a digital internship program, number one is practical experience,
Yeah.
mentorship from practitioners, job market alignment, enterprise to efficiency. You have some certifications, in fact, that we do. Then your portfolio. Just a quick one before I go. This is
Yeah.
also, for example, that we introduce our student. There are a lot of cybersecurity vendors today that also do free trainings. You can see that Manage Engine is doing a free training that starts from April 1st and it goes in for 6 weeks. This is an extensive training for their solution and it's free. A lot of the time, people are not aware of this kind of training. They are vendor specific training. Our students are also registering because this is also one of the platforms that we use today. So, Mr. Yom, this is where I'd like to stop. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's any question.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a few questions. And I want us to go back to the spreadsheet, that digital spreadsheet.
All right.
Right. I just think I have some questions on students' mind. So, um, I just want students to see how the program transitions. So, if it's a 6 weeks program, sorry, 6 months program, if they can just see the progression, what they do in week 1, week 2, right? So they can see how the 6 months of internship is done. And for those who are watching us, you are not starting with this. So we are clear, because some of you watching this will be like, oh, I don't know this. These things are looking. No, you start with the foundational 5 months program. Then when you are done with the 5 months foundational program, then we move you to internship. Internship is optional, but is always recommended. And in internship, you are just doing projects, and your projects are being reviewed. You are doing
Yeah.
projects every week, and you are getting project review. So let's be very clear on that. So over to you. I just want you to show them how the transition
Mm.
from week one to the final week of the internship.
Okay, so you can see this is already like a progression for cohorts three that we have. For example, the week one, we start with introduction and we do we go into week two where we take out time to look at enterprise architecture, designs, network diagrams, because you're supposed to understand that so that you know where the gaps are when you join an organization, how to assess. Even auditors, when they come in, they will ask for your diagrams, your design documents to see if your controls or your implementation are in line with it. Then we look into asset management. So these are deliberate. Why we are doing this is that based on NIST framework, the first phase is identification. You need to even know what is in your environment, mobile, laptop, servers, to know what to even protect, right? How many operating system, what kind of network we have. So we use tools like Landsweeper for week four. You can see the same solution can help us with database activity monitoring. Then we compare other solution like Spicework that helps us with asset management again. Now we start looking at some solution in depth, like Qualys, right? It has asset inventory, it has vulnerability management, application, and certificate monitoring. That goes for week four, five, and six. Now for August, we are flexible because there are times that I want to just say this. There are times that as mentors and instructor, we see that students are struggling with a particular domain. Instead of moving to the next one, like this one now, this week we are supposed to move into a different domain, but we are still here. Why? Because students had some struggle. They need to learn how to troubleshoot. So we are giving it a 2 weeks instead of a 1 week. So we get those feedbacks from students, look at what to do, and so it's not just about how far, it's how well. Do you understand this solution? So we get those feedback if there's a need for us to now extend so that everybody is able to do their project. Let me show you now on week six. You can see that week six, out of over 15 or between 15 to 20 students, we have just 7 students that have done their project. It shows you that they need some time. And, so we are not just giving you input and output. We look at what you are doing, where there are gaps is, where we need to come back and give those reviews. Then quickly, we go down into from vulnerability management, we go into software application security. So we look at different solutions that helps us for application security. That can go into week seven. Then external attack surface assessment. You need to know what is happening externally because that's where an attacker is coming from. Attackers don't care. They don't want to come to your office. They can scan your device externally. So how do you know what they are seeing proactively so that you can cover those gaps? You see, then we start looking at APIs. Applications today are using APIs. How do you scan? Let's say 5, 6 years ago from today, we don't talk about API like that. But right now, everything is using API. So there should be a tool, a security tool for your API management. That's why we included this in our curriculum. Then we start looking at endpoint layer, EDLs with some tools, manage engine I just told you about that our students are doing trainings on. Then we go
Yeah.
into security operation. You can see that we go into security operation. We start looking at other virtualized platform like Let's Defend, for threat investigation and incident response. Then we start going into deep dive projects. Phishing is a major attack vector today in the world. How would you do some threat investigation, incident response, creating playbooks? What are some of the major tools, right? How do we use, and a lot of these tools have AI functionality in them. How do we leverage those AI? How can we build something out of them? So you can see that we are going down into
Yeah.
same into incident response, but at this point we are looking at network traffic analysis. Then we're going to document how to even investigate and document. Then SIEM project, because organization needs like a SIEM, a tool that helps you gather information and
Sure.
store it. So something that does like monitoring all the events that happen from a central location. That's what a SIEM is. right? Then we go into threat hunting, leveraging different solutions. Then you can see we move into threat intelligence projects with different
Okay.
solutions. Now we are going into web application firewall, right? Looking at some other open source tools that can help us. Then mobile. So you can see now I've been talking about different domains from firewall, threat intel, and now mobile application. So when you build iOS, sorry, or Android application, how do you assess them? Right? Then data loss prevention, they would look at GRC tools. Then students do their capstone projects. You have to do a project that you think about yourself that solve a problem.
Wow. Thank you very much for this. It's been a wonderful time having you here tonight, and we've really learned a lot. So the students will meet you at the internship class when they are done with their program. Right.
Thank
So have
you.
a wonderful night rest. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
So that was Nelson, our head of internship, sharing his experience and how the internship program will go. So I'll be bringing on Chegwen Beniza. He's our career coach, right? He's our career coach, and he is the one who helps with getting jobs. So if you are for Shegun, right? If you're in the program, you get to meet him while you're in the program, right? So you don't have to wait till internship. From the first day of your program, Shegun will be with you. He's not your tutor, right? But he's your career coach. Um, he's your career coach, right? So, people, while we are waiting for uh, Shegun to join us, I will just share with us how the program runs, how our program runs. So, to start with, the program starts next week, Saturday. Program starts next week, Saturday, and it's a 5 months program. It's a 5 months program. So let me bring up my spreadsheet. I can see some of you are dropping your questions already. Don't worry about that. I will take all your questions once we are done. All right, we'll take all your questions once we are done. So just be patient with us, right? Just be patient with us. All your questions will be taken once we are done. So let me share with you how the program runs. So starting thing, classes start next week. Um, classes starts next week. Classes starts next week, Saturday. Saturday. So, and for the program, we'll share the brochure with you on the group. Classes hold Saturdays and Tuesdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mark 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m. Now, classes are live classes, and the live classes are recorded and the replay made available. Classes are live classes. The live classes are recorded and the replay is made available, right? Classes are live classes are recorded and the replay is made available. Right now, to explain to you the structure of our training, the structure of the training is very important. So there are 4 resource personnel that you pass through during the course of the training. So first of all, we have your technical tutor. So it teaches you the technical side of cybersecurity, your pen testing, your networking, your threat intelligence, and the rest of it. Then you have the non-technical tutor. Non-technical tutor teaches you GRC, that's the governance, risk, and compliance side. Then we have the teaching assistant. So that's why I said our program is a very solid program. So this teaching assistant is available Mondays, Saturdays, and his job is when if you're having challenges with your project, with your assignment, with your class replay, he's right there to help you. You know, there are some students that are shy in the class. They are very shy in the class. They don't talk, but they're not getting anything, but they are still very shy. Right. So this teaching assistant is there to help out. His job is outside of the class. Right. Then we have the career coach. We have the career coach, and that is Shegun that we expect him to be here tonight. And the career coach, he handles CV revamp. He has classes with you once in 2 weeks. And what does he teach you in the class? CV revamp, LinkedIn optimization, interview prep, tech visa, coaching, as it teaches you things around AI tools for job applications, AI tools for job applications, AI tools for job application, work reference, certifications, building your portfolio of projects, right? So that's his job, and that's what he does. He does well, right? So that is your career coach. And we also have your internship manager, right? That you're already aware of, right? Sorry. Okay. Then you have your internship manager, and that is Nelson. He came around tonight, right? So his job is when you are done with your program, then he helps you to gain work experience, right? He helps with your work experience. He helps with your work experience, right? So the program is 5 months. Like I've said, it's a 5 months program. That is the foundational program, right? It's starting next week, Saturday. And after that, you now have the internship, which the whole idea of the internship is that we have a lot of people who attend training programs and they don't have the work experience, right? They don't have the work experience to back it up. All they just have is certifications. And many of you watching me tonight, some of you have certifications, but you lack work experience, right? That's why we brought about the whole idea of the internship, such that you have this confidence. Because many people feel that, oh, I just finished the program and you think I'm competent already. Yes, you are. You are competent already if you have an internship, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think Grego is right here. He's joining us right now, right? So yeah, he's joining us right away. Yeah. Okay. Good to have him here tonight. Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine. Sorry for
Yeah.
coming in late. There's an addition to the family, so it's been all
Oh.
hands on deck.
Oh, wow. Wow. It happened today?
No. About 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Wow. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
That's good news, though.
Thank you
We're
so
so
much,
happy
sir.
to hear that. Yeah. And regards to your wife.
All
Yeah.
right, I will do that. Thank you.
Okay, good. So tonight we have our prospective students listening to us. So we just want you to describe your journey how you started, and how you got to where you are on the way to where you're still going to, and how you have also helped people without tech background along the journey to achieve their cybersecurity dreams. So that's just it. So for those viewers, Shegun is our career coach. He's based in the United Kingdom, and he's well experienced, and you get to hear from him. So over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I started out in cybersecurity around 2020. Even though I am one of those, people who actually have some level of experience in tech. I did computer science at my national diploma level, but my focus changed after that national diploma, and I began to pick interest in, securing systems and computers. But as at that point, as at that time, it's cybersecurity has not really gained popularity in Nigeria. There are limited resources, limited universities, many universities as at then were not offering that course. And so many of the things that we now have now, like communities, cybersecurity, work groups, and all of that were not available as at then. So during the lockdown, I decided to self-study, and that was how everything started in 2020. So during the lockdown, I started, studying, started looking for resources online. And fortunately for me, during those periods, certain certifications and certain courses were made freely available that were actually initially paid. So I began to take advantage of all of those, attended different webinars, different conferences virtually, took loads of online courses. By the end of 2020, I'd already completed more than 55 uh, course certificates, right?
Wow.
And by the beginning of 2021, I've written 6 internationally recognized certification as at then, because most of those were discounted and free during the lockdown. And that was how the journey started. I joined uh, a community in the US right from Nigeria. And one of the days they just posted, oh, we needed the cybersecurity analyst and educator. And I applied from that community, went for the interview. And because of the loads of information I've consumed, I was looking for an opportunity for me to actually show that I have some skills. So I leveraged that, and that was how I got my first US job. 2021, right? And after that, another opportunity came. I made a post on LinkedIn, and that post went viral. About 3 CEOs of companies, one in UK, one in US, one in Nigeria, reached out to me, and they were willing to want to employ me based on my experience and my passion as a dean. And that was how I got another job in the UK from Nigeria, right? So I'm saying all of this because I know that viewers, people, the participants will be looking at, oh, being in Nigeria, is it possible for me to be able to work from Nigeria? Is it possible for me to be able to, get a job from Nigeria? It is very possible. It's just that your positioning is very important. Your visibility is very important. And these are topics that we talk about in the career coaching, sessions. And that was how, the journey continued. And like that, I began to get other offers. I, I think I only worked for a Nigerian startup, just one Nigerian startup before I left, Nigeria. All my time as a professional in Nigeria, all the companies I worked for were companies outside the country. So I'm saying this to, inspire somebody on this call that it is possible. It is not easy, but it is very possible, right? With the right strategy, with the right information, it is very, very possible, right? And that was how, the journey began. And from there, got my global talent, visa based on my work in cybersecurity. And some of these things are the things we also discuss during the career session, how you can position yourself, how you can start, while you start out in cybersecurity, how you can start documenting your journey so that by the time you're ready, about 2 years, 3 years in the industry, you can also start applying for all of these, tech visas. So that's in short how my journey started out, and still I'm currently in the US. I've worked across different sectors as a cybersecurity professional. I've worked in the healthcare sector. I've worked in the fintech sector. Currently, I work in the energy sector. It means that as a cybersecurity professional, you have the ability to actually work in other sectors that you are not an expert in. So it
Yeah.
means that you can actually work in the oil and gas, industry, even though you are not an oil and gas, you are not an oil expert, oil engineer or a petroleum engineer. You can work in the healthcare sector, even though you are not a doctor, you are not a nurse. You can work in any sector. This is a career that gives you that, latitude to be able to enter into any sector and still thrive, because every sector, every institution needs to protect, they want to protect the organization from attacks. They want to protect their data, their proprietary data, their customer data from being breached. So you can work anywhere with this, with this career, being an expert in this industry. So I will just stop there, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that. So the second question I will ask is that, can you just describe some of the experiences of people that on this journey you also mentored them, and how they were able to also transition to tech, maybe one or two of them,
Okay.
right?
So this example is an example I always like to talk about because it's very profound. There was a man, currently, I think he has moved to Canada now. Before he was in Dublin, has moved to Canada now. As of 2022, I began to mentor this man. He was 45 years old as at then, and he was in the healthcare sector as a social care worker, right? Though a manager
45
in
years
that.
old.
Yes, 45 years old. Though a manager in that sector, but that's a care work. Whether you're a manager, whether you're a supervisor, it's still a care work, right? So he wanted to transition into cybersecurity at age 45. And I was like, are you sure you want to do this? And he said, yeah, I'm ready. I'm tired of this job. And that was how we began. So we started, I began to, coach him. We began to have sessions, and as time goes on, he applied for associate degree in a college in Dublin to study network security. After he was done, he did very well. After he was done, he applied for BSc in one of the universities in UK, and now he has BSc in cybersecurity. And now this particular person who had no experience or no tech background now has a penetration testing company, like a consulting company, where he actually
Wow.
gets job. He has penetration testers that works for him. He consults for organizations, small businesses, and he conducts penetration testing and vulnerability assessment for them. That is a very profound example of someone who never had any experience or never had, was,
Started at 45.
that year at 45, as at 2022. And now the guy is doing well. He has moved from UK now to Canada, and he's still practicing cybersecurity in Canada, right? So that's one example. Another example is a lady who was really fresh out of the university and was really confused. She doesn't know what to do, but she was really interested in crime, cyber crime, and all of that. And I mentored her, picked her up, and right now that same lady is outside the country working for one of the leading organizations, NGOs that actually deals with cyber crime and all of that. So these are people who were naive. They don't even know what a data is. They don't know what networking is, and they picked it up from scratch without experience in all of those
Yeah.
areas, and they were able to actually make their headway.
Wow. Interesting. This is very inspiring. So the final question I would ask tonight is that, okay, so being the career coach, you have sessions with the students once in 2 weeks. So for the incoming students, what should they be expecting from these sessions with you? What should they look forward to at this session? What happens at these sessions?
Okay,
Yeah.
so in these sessions, we have a full-fledged curriculum that takes you through the journey of how you can actually build your skills in cybersecurity, right? Yeah, you will be having technical classes, but this class is focused on how do you build your skills? How do you leverage the technical skills that you've received from the technical classes to actually use that as an advantage in the job market, right? How do you build a CV that attracts recruiters? How do you build a profile on LinkedIn that attracts recruiters? We also teach you on how you can get work experience, without a job experience. When you come to class, you will understand the difference between the two. There is job experience, there is work experience. While
Experience.
while cybersecurity entry level roles, they will ask you, oh, we need like 0 to 2 years experience, even for entry level role, right?
Mm.
They are not necessarily saying that you have to have done a job before where you get those experience, but they are saying you must have, engaged in certain projects, you must have engaged in certain simulated environment and been able to build certain home labs, do certain things that will give you like credibility and leverage while you actually interviewed. All of these things are the things that we're going to be discussing. We're going to also be discussing job hunting strategies, interview prep strategies. And one of the interesting classes that we've had over and over again are classes where I discuss how I normally use LLM tools to actually prepare for interview, ChatGPT, Gemini, and all of that. Interesting classes around that where you can actually prompt, appropriately prompt these tools to help you prepare for interviews based on the descriptions and the role that you are going for. And some other topics that we discuss are topics around tech visas across US, UK, how you can actually position yourself, how you can start building your career even from scratch now and begin to document some of your experiences that you can use later. And then we also talk about how you can use Upwork, freelancer to start getting projects while you wait for your dream white collar job in
So,
cybersecurity, right? We discuss all of this and much more in the class. So there are really interesting, classes that doesn't really go deep into the technical stuff that you do in your technical class, but they leverage those experiences in your technical
yeah.
class to help you to be able to launch yourself into, the job market in cybersecurity.
Mm. Thank you very much, Shagun. It's been a wonderful session tonight. Really appreciate your time. And regards to the family, so students,
Thank you.
when you come in, you get to have Shagun as your career coach, and you learn from his many years of experience in cybersecurity. And yeah, so wonderful night. Bye for now. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. Bye.
Yeah, bye. So that was Shagun right there. So I'll be bringing on Temitayo. I can see your hand, Temitayo, right? Um, but before I bring you on, just to share a few things, people have been asking about, oh, how much is it? How much is it? It's actually discounted. So the program is 300,000 naira if you are doing one-time payments. And this covers both the training, which is 5 months online, 100% online, and the internship, which is also 6 months and it's online, right? So that is it. That's the amount. So if you want to pay, here's the account details to pay into. You can pay into these account details. The digital consulting, Traders Bank. And if you have inquiries, you can WhatsApp 234-80-7758-7734. Or there's a second line you can send a WhatsApp message to. If you have inquiries, Temita will be joining us right now. So you can also WhatsApp this other line, 234-907-993-7803. You can WhatsApp any of these lines and be well attended to. There's the account details to pay into. Classes starts next week, Saturday. Registration closes next week, Friday, right? So that being said, I'll be answering your questions. Some of you have asked questions, but Mitayo is here and we don't want to take our time, right? So, be joining us right away. Introducing ourselves, how the training was, and how she got her first job. Good evening. Good evening, Temitayo. Can you hear me? We're waiting for you.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. And
Yeah,
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming around. So just introduce yourself, share your experience with the program and your journey to your first job and how it has been going so far. So over to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Temitayo Obawole. I found out about Agital online when I was searching for cybersecurity. Opportunities to grow, right? So, because I actually started my career as a data analyst, so but I wanted to grow in tech. So that's why I decided that, okay, let me jump into cybersecurity, still revolve around data, right? So Agital popped up for some reasons, and I believe it's because they had a lot of good recommendations. So I checked it out. I joined the webinar that particular day they scheduled, and I heard from Mr. Yemi, and I'm like, okay, Mr. Yemi, and I'm like, okay, I would like to do more research. I went on LinkedIn. I saw a lot of good reviews. To cut the story short, I joined the program. I joined the program. We started first month, second month. It was all very interesting, right? And we had very good, teachers. Right from the beginning of the training was when Mr. Shegun already started teaching us about career coaching. Then our technical teacher too was doing his own training. Then our GRC teacher too was doing our own training, and I'm like, all on, I think we were paying 300, 350. I can't really remember how much it was then. So it was like a 6-month training, and it went on and on, both technical and theory and exposure. So in the middle of that, I quit my job because I knew, this is what I really want to do. In fact, my family was very reluctant for me to do that, but I told them I want to do it because I believed in what they were training us in. So after my 6-month training, please don't leave your job, but if you don't have another one. I did it because my husband is very supportive. So like when
Mm,
I dropped the job, I got the opportunity to join their internship. It was all practical, and I started to see the real view of it, and I got really more interested. Focus helped me stay strong in that. And before I knew it, CV that I'll drop in so many places, people started reaching out back, being shortlisted to CV. People started adding me on LinkedIn, requesting for me to connect. And this whole thing didn't just happen because of me alone. It happened because I had people to support me. I had discouraged people discouraging me that cybersecurity is hard in Nigeria, but I had good backing, right? Agita was there for me. And I can say they were there for me for 1 year. In fact, when we started the internship, I'm like, are we going to spend and are we going to pay another set of money? Because I'm like, is all this from the 300 and kini 1,000 we spent? How is that even possible? And during the internship, second month, they did not ask for more money. Third month, they did not ask for more money. I could reach out to our career coach freely because I had so many, I needed direction, which is what everybody needs. Cybersecurity is easy to go into as long as you have direction. And I'm happy if you're on this call. Honestly, I'm happy you are here because it's an opportunity for you. They will guide you to where you want to be. And when I got my first interview, when of course, when companies want to employ you, they go through different stages. So the first interview stage I got to, I didn't get that job because it was in Abuja there and they wanted physical. It was a physical position. I was sad, but my trainer, Mr. Nelson, told me that don't worry, just keep going. In fact, that encouragement helped me because I'm like, okay, he believes in me. Let me keep going. Let me keep trying. I kept on applying. And then the second interview came. they said they have to pick only one person. That's why they are letting me go. Not like my performance wasn't good. And when I even went for that interview, I was scared that hey, in me that I've never like gone for a deep interview in a company, a global company like this before. But when they were asking me questions, I'm like, is this all it is all about? Because these questions are very similar to what we discussed during our internship,
Mm.
even during our normal training. Like
Mm.
teach you real life facts, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So anyway, to cut the story short, I got my first job as in a global company. I'm always very proud to say that, and I'm very
Mm.
lucky because it's an entry level role, but I'm being paid like mid level or even senior level. My salary is great, right? And it's
Mm.
not because it's global. I'm saying it because global companies don't just select candidates, they select based on how they believe you can perform. They believed in me, and I don't put the glory on myself alone. I believe Agital helped me get there, and that's why I'll always be very grateful to them, and I'll always share the word out to people because it's a blessing to be here, just like I said. And it's been great. In fact, they are all very proud of my performance. I don't know. It's just been very funny. In fact, my manager told me that they've been trying to employ since last year, June, before they
Wow.
found me in February. And the day I did the interview was the same day they reached out back to me that please, are you available to join in again? Probably something stood out. They really liked me, and it's not a knowledge I had before I started with Agital. It started with Agital, of course, with my experiences in my other role as well. But when it comes to cybersecurity matter, Agital guided me. So yeah, it's been great where I am now. I'm an information security analyst, and I can't be anywhere else. It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's fine. We don't really do extreme technical stuff, but we need to know those technical stuff. And Agital gave me that foundation. Yeah, even during the interview, it was all technical questions. So I would advise you, even if you want to focus on GRC, still
Yeah.
have that interest in tech, in the technical aspect of cybersecurity, because you need it to be able to grow in GRC. And even if you want to grow in technical aspect of cybersecurity, you still need the knowledge of GRC.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and then the coach, Mr. Shegun, in
Mm.
fact, I didn't even know how I didn't know I could be that popular on, LinkedIn. It's just recently I've not had time to, post and then have conversations on LinkedIn.
Mm.
When Mr. Shegun directed us on, strategies on how to reach employers, how to have people, request to connect, and they were working like magic. When people started
Mm.
requesting to connect, I would be like, wait, I'm becoming popular like that though on LinkedIn. And it's just a great, it's been a great opportunity. I'm very happy. Thank you once again to Agital. I always
Yeah.
look forward to the opportunity to saying this. So yeah,
Yeah.
I wish everybody on this call all the best, and I want to assure you you're on the right path, and I hope you take up upon this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Temitayo, for that. It's actually inspirational, right? So I want to ask, like, your first interview, you didn't get the job because it was in Abuja. Then it
Yeah.
was your second interview that you got this job, right?
Actually, the third, the second
Oh,
interview, the
oh,
second interview,
you wanted
they
one
we
person.
yeah, they said they had to pick just one person. Yeah,
Person. Oh,
yeah.
oh,
So, and I have a feeling it was because my baby, I have a baby, right? She made a cry at the background during the interview.
oh, oh, I
So,
see.
yeah, so
I
I'm just
see.
having a feeling on that. So the third one, I made sure I was in a quiet space, nobody to disturb me. I did my best, and I got the role.
That's congrats once again. Yeah, well done, eh?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Temitayo, for coming around tonight. I really appreciate it. And regards to the family. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bye.
bye bye.
Yeah, bye. So that was Temitayo sharing journey to our first cybersecurity job right after the training program, right? So at this point, I will answer your questions. So I can see you've been asking questions. So that's, if you want to pay, that's the account details. The training is 100% online. Everything is 100% online. Everyone here attended the training online, and so it's the people that hack into your systems, they do it online. So people always have this thing about online. Don't worry about it. Online is much easier. The program costs 300,000 naira if you are doing one-time payment. If you are doing two-time payment, 200,000, then 175,000 naira. Right? What plan do you have for people that have already taken a cybersecurity program? Are they just going to start from? No, they will just start from scratch. Why? Because you've taken it somewhere before does not mean you have been well grounded. Right? One of the reasons why we have a lot of success stories is because we are very, very detailed, right? Very detailed. If we move you to the internship program, you might struggle, right? You might struggle. So it's like if you did medicine in Nigeria and you go to the United States, you have to start from the scratch, because they are not going to accept that you've learned everything, because this is United States. This is United States. Like, that's one of the best healthcare system in the world. So that same way, you have to start from the scratch. But it's not a big deal. We are doing that because we want the best for you. We want you to be competent. We want our products to be competent products, right? I've shared the cost already, right? I've shared the cost with you, right? The system, you need a 8 gig RAM upward, and you'll be fine. Right, you can do two-time payment, 200 and 175. If you are doing one-time payment, it's 300,000. Right, right. So the recording will be shared. The session is being recorded, and the recording will be shared. You're starting next week Saturday. Registration closes next week Friday. Right. You don't need a university degree. You don't need a university degree. There are many remote jobs that don't care about your university degree. The program is 300,000 naira if you are doing one-time payment, 200,000 and 175,000 if you are doing two-time payment. You are starting next week, Saturday. So we have another of our students who is here to share his experience with the program, right? His experience with the program, and I'm bringing him on. Olatunde Adewale is right here, and he'll be sharing his experience with the program, right? So, over to you, sir. Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Tonight's session, sir. So let's get to know you, how you learned about the training, and how the training has been so far.
Good evening, please. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's finally glad to have this opportunity of talking to you one-on-one.
Yeah, we thank God, sir.
I think the experience I had with you was I was the one that I pleaded to pay 200,000 naira first, if you can still remember.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Actually, that money was it was like, I want to see if it's really worth it. Yeah, it was kind of like a test. These people said I should come and pay 300,000. Like, okay, let me just pay 200,000. If I stay for like a week, and if it doesn't work out, I would know I didn't lose 300,000 naira. That was my plan. So I think the experience, you don't need to convince anybody to join you, honestly, because the journey to tech itself, I started thinking about it, I think last year, August. So I was contemplating between going back to school for a university degree and considering other options. But the one thing that attracted me towards digital was on my timeline on Instagram. It keeps coming up. And I'm this kind of person. If I want to do something, I look at the caliber of people involved in it. So I look at the people. Are these people genuine? Or it's just one of those things that they'll just say, okay, go and be watching YouTube videos. And so I said, okay, let me give it a try. So after the first week, the whole thing looks like, will I fit in here? But the coach, Odinaka, he was an amazing person. So he reduced everything to a level that became understandable for people to even that, to the extent that even if you don't have tech background, because I don't have any tech background, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. The only thing I do with laptop is to watch Netflix, and I don't have anything. So you took us and we started going on and on and on. And then as the day goes by, it became easier. Like, is this what this thing is really all about? Cybersecurity. But one thing I got to understand is this. A trial will always convince anybody that is interested in anything they want to do. Nobody paid me to come and speak here. Yeah. I just got the message on Wednesday. In fact, the person that it's just chat. Can you come and do this? I said, this is something that I knew I benefited. It's just within just we started November cohort. A month or less than 2 months. Most of us will go to ISC2, CEC exam, and most of us passed. So the thing is this: when the money might be much for people, but the truth is this: you should know what you are putting your hand into. Yeah. To talk about the solutions, I can't even start going into what we learn in this program because they are enormous. And the idea of, I like the way it's structured. I like the way the program is structured in such a way that you do the class. In fact, sometimes I feel like these people, I hope they will not come and tell me to come and add more money. You have the technical class, you have the GRC class. In fact, the GRC woman is always on our neck, like, wow. People like, this is looking overwhelming because you pay 300,000 and you are exposed to things that at some point, if you don't have the mind, you will run away. When we started, we were something. Sometimes we have people got tired. And the thing is this, it became overwhelming because the knowledge that was impacted, a lot of people were like, this is not what I bargained for. I knew, I chatted with somebody and the guy was like, these people, they want to kill me. No, they didn't say it's going to be like this. And the thing is this, any serious-minded people will look towards Agital. That is just the reality. They will look towards it. If you are not lazy, I used to tell them when we have our technical class, if you are not lazy, you will survive here. And whatever you learn from here, you can take it anywhere. That is just it. And I look at from the technical class, you have Odinaka, look at him, you look at his pedigree. We are not talking of boys, we are talking of people that are grounded in the field. Then in the internship class, you have Mr. Nelson. In fact, that one will just tell you, go and look for solutions. He's treating us like we are working already. Yeah. And these are the kind of, is giving us real life experience, things that you will go out and see there. As in, then we have the this career coaching. This is another Mr.
Shegun Ebenezer. Shegun Ebenezer.
So we have just like 4 people handling you just because of 300,000. Even in Nigeria, how many people you understand?
Yes.
You can get this idea from somewhere, because me, I was actually looking for direction. How do I go into this? I will look at Udemy, I will look here, I will look at Cisco. The whole thing were not making sense to me, because I got to realize that cybersecurity is a very wild.
Yeah, very broad. If you are not directed, you'll be lost.
That
just
is
go in every direction.
So I only needed direction. So, and the direction I got was, it was precise. It wasn't like you go and read this, it was precise. They fit into my own agenda. I'm just gonna say that they fit into my agenda. So I will like implore whoever wants to. You don't need to, that is why I said editor doesn't need to convince anybody. Much. You don't need it. Honestly, I'm a living asset. In fact, if you tell me any solutions now, open verse, if you tell me anything now, even the one I don't know now, just tell me, Sunday, do this. By next weekend, I'll bring solutions for you. Even the ones I don't know, because the whole thing fits into, like, I have been prepared. Even the ones I don't know about, the idea is there now. I'm barely 4 months. So, and I can, the best money I've spent in my life that I know I didn't waste was this 300,000 I paid here. I swear to God, that is one money that I am proud of. Like, I really, so it's not to talk too much. So yes, but it was a money well spent. Yeah. So that's why I said Adida doesn't need to broadcast too much, and you don't need to convince people too much. But the thing is this: whoever comes in, trust me, they are not going back the same way they come in. Because I'm a living example of that. So, and I want to, like, I'm rounding up my technical class, I think next month, and then to face the internship, the GRC, and the career coaching. So it's wonderful, and it's a beautiful experience for me. So I want to thank you personally, and for those things that used to come up on my timeline every time on Instagram, like, I say, no, this is God calling me towards something that will impact my. So I really want to thank you. I want to thank. In fact, you what do you call this? There is even the what do you call this? This one on 5 o'clock. Class assist.
Yeah, teaching assistant.
Yes, you see how
from 5 o'clock.
Whatever you do, whatever you do. So you have this class assist they come in, bring all your problems, and so
any problem you have.
That's why it's really worth it, honestly. That's why I said, if there's any money I've spent in my life that I will not look back to say, oh, I regretted this money, is this 300,000 naira that I spent on Agita. Honestly, it was worth it. And whoever is hearing, that is thinking maybe it's worth it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's worth it. It's worth it. That is just it. That is just it. So thank you once more.
Thank you, sir.
You've been an amazing person. Thank you so much for this opportunity of calling me now to come and advocate for people and to think towards Agita. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate your time.
Okay.
Because time is important. Thank you, sir. So that was Mr. Olatunde there sharing his experience. So I'll just take a few questions that will be done for today. If you have further questions you want to register, for those who are asking, classes starts next week, Saturday. Registration closes next week, Friday. So classes starts next week, Saturday, which is April 4. Registration closes next week, Friday. Right, and this is the account details to pay into. But not to worry, in case you can't even get the account details, you can always WhatsApp any of the lines and we'll take it up from there. So these lines are very important. Just send a WhatsApp to those lines, right? So Mr. Frank Obot, you said you are in M365. So you can send me a chat and we'll see what we can do. Right, Mr. Frank Obot, kindly send a chat, then we'll take it up from there. right? There's no age restriction. Like I've said, Bookie Rice started at the age of 44, where Shegun was talking, one of his students started at the age of 45. Today, he has a company of his own that does penetration testing. So stop giving yourself all these excuses. I'm telling you, right? It starts today, right? Debola is asking, so classes hold Saturdays and Tuesdays, then once in 2 weeks, there's career coaching classes which holds on a Sunday. That's once in 2 weeks, right? Once in 2 weeks. That's career coaching with Mr. Shegun. But your technical classes hold Saturday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. once in a while. Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. once in a while, right? But most time it's 7 to 9 p.m., right? So that's it. There's no age restriction. Mr. Frank Obert, send me a chat. We'll take it off from there, right? Our certifications are globally accepted. If by the time on the group, just stay active on the group. We'll be sharing some of the certifications you'll be getting during the course of the program that will guide you to get, right? So that's, you need a laptop. We're not here to deceive you or to lie to you. You need a laptop, right? An 8 gig RAM laptop or higher will do. Becky, there's no age restriction to the program. The program, how long is the program? It's 5 months for the technical program. Then there's an additional 6 months for internship. It's optional, but we always advise because internship gives you the work experience, right? As you have heard, right? So that's it. As a cybersecurity scenario, can I talk to that? Just chat up the numbers. You can talk to someone. Just chat up the numbers. We'll tell one of our team members to talk to you, right? Princess Adejoke, yes, everything is online. And that's it. Everything is online and very effective. Instrumental payment, if you are doing one-time payment, it's 300,000. If you are doing instrumental payment, you pay 200 and 175,000 naira within 2 months. So instrumental comes with a little extra on top of it. Everything is virtual. Everything is virtual. Like all of you are always asking, is it virtual? Is it online? Let me sort out this tonight, right? So all the testimonies I've shared on the group, all the testimonies I will still share, all of them attended online training. That's number one. Number two, if you are working remotely for organizations in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, you are working remotely. So if the job you are doing is remote, why can't the training be remote? So don't have this idea that it has to be a physical training, right? What's the difference between studying at school and studying at Digital? Wonderful question. So here's the thing. I'm not going to badmouth going to school to learn cybersecurity. But here's the thing. When you learn it at Digital, within 5 months, you are done with the training. Within another 6 months, you have done the internship. And I can tell you that what you will learn at Digital in 5 months of training and 6 months of internship, and I can tell you for a fact, like I'm beating my chest, is much more powerful than what you will learn in 5 years in cybersecurity in school. And I will tell you why. So let me explain to you. What we are teaching people in cybersecurity in 2026 is slightly different from what we taught them in 2025 because things have changed. Like Nelson was saying, in 2026, we started incorporating a little bit more of AI into our curriculum. In 2025, we're doing AI in our curriculum, but not as intensive as this. Because between 2025 and 2020, AI has become a thing. So cybersecurity professionals have to protect organizations against AI, things like deep fake. So that is, our curriculum has changed between last year and this year. You have gone to school to learn cybersecurity. By the time you are out of school, what you have learned is almost becoming obsolete. You understand that? Like you went to school, you learned it for 4 years. By the time you graduate, the syllabus you were taught is different from the reality in the market. And one thing about our training, that once you're a student of Digital, you're a cybersecurity student of Digital, whenever there are updates, you always have access to those updates through career coaching classes. So that's the thing. That's why career coaching classes doesn't end. even when your training ends, it keeps going because that's where you keep getting updated, right? The training is 300,000 one-time payment. No, internship will not affect your job. Internship is online. So John, so how internship works is that once in a week, you have sessions with your internship manager. He reviews your task for the week and he gives you projects for the week. It's just like going to work, except that this one, Saturdays, you have your internship. He sits down with you, he reviews what you have done, reviews your project, then he gives you another task for the week. That's it. So you don't have to leave your job or quit your job, right? So I've answered that. I've answered that. There's no age restriction. Certificates, you get globally recognized certificates. You need a laptop. Nobody should. If anybody is telling you don't need a laptop, they are deceiving you, and we don't deceive people here, right? My phone number, the numbers you can WhatsApp any of these numbers, right? And we take it off from there. You just need basic computer literacy. You don't need programming. You don't need coding. You know, just calm down. As long as you can operate a computer, just basic knowledge, you are good to go, right? The next training will be in the next 6 to 7 months. So try to get into this program, even if you have to do an instrumental payment program, that'll be fine, right? So 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Tuesdays. You don't need a university degree. All you need is your projects, the training, some certifications under your belt, and the internship, which serves as work experience. All right. So let me see. If you have just paid, just send proof of payment to any of these WhatsApp numbers. Yeah, that's it. Send the proof of payment to any of the WhatsApp numbers and we'll take it off from there. So that is how it works, right? That is how it works, right? So does anybody have any other question? Still have like 4 minutes with you tonight. In case I've answered your question, you can still ask your question. So this is the WhatsApp number. Note, the program is 5 months with 6 months of internship. It's starting next week, Saturday. Classes those Saturday and Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Program is 100% online, but very effective program, right? And that's that for that, right? So let me see if you have any other question. If you have any challenges, any questions, you can always reach out to the WhatsApp numbers. The certifications will be posted on the group in the coming days, right? We can't share everything tonight. 2 hours is not enough to share everything about the program, right? So that's it. That's it. Right. So that's it. Someone is after this training. So what I will always advise is that you try to get in right now, because after this training, we move to the next 6 or 7 months before we have another, because we are focusing on that, right? Yeah, Ranjan, because of our time, there were even some students that were meant to talk here tonight, but because of our time, they couldn't have all of them here, right? But they are both, I could share the last session Ranjan had. I could share it on the group so that you can hear from Ranjan, right? So that's it. All right. So I don't know if anybody has more questions. I still have 2 minutes. 2 minutes and we are done. 2 minutes and we are done. 2 minutes and we are done. So, any other question? 1 more minute to go. So people, I'll leave you with this last word. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Don't give in to procrastination. Take that step today. Some of you watching me here tonight, you have been on my group for the past 1 year, right? Take that step today. Look at Temitayo, many other people who have taken a step and they've transitioned. The certification will be shared on the group tomorrow, so don't worry about the certification. There are many certifications you'll be getting. We'll share it on the group, right? After the training, what next? After the training is for you to get a job and transition. That's all. What do you want to happen next? It's for you to get a job now. That's the next thing. And that's why we keep supporting you. Career coaching doesn't end. We keep supporting you. So someone is asking for the numbers again. So I'll share the numbers with you. My time is over. So I'll share the numbers again. So once I share these numbers, try to write it down. Yeah, the numbers are there. So you can WhatsApp any of those numbers. WhatsApp works, right? To what level you will be trained? You'll be trained to the level of a professional, such that by the time you are done with our training, your skill set is equivalent to someone who has been in cybersecurity for 3 to 5 years. Yeah, that will be your level. By the time you are done with the training, you will be at the competency level of someone who has been working in cybersecurity for 3 to 5 years. Yeah, you can work, you can get intermediate roles and get entry-level roles, not just entry levels, intermediate. Yeah, the WhatsApp numbers will be shared on the group. Right. So people, thank you. We can't make this longer than this. Right. So if you have further questions, here are the WhatsApp numbers. The session was recorded. The replay will be shared on the group. So don't worry about that. You get the replay tonight. Right. Thank you, people. Do have a lovely night rest. Bye for now. See you in the class. Bye.